Hello guys, welcome to my videos. I guess have last day. So we're gonna read Plucking Grain on the Sabbath. So before I read, we're gonna pray. So as bows goes eyes, please. Dear Heavenly Father, for this day, thank for everything, things are trying to live. So please help me, my family, and my friends. Please help any family or friend, person poor and homeless, and please sicknesses and friends upon yourself. And in Lord's name, Amen. To God Bibles and read on me. I create myself. It was fun, okay? So you can read Plucking Grain on the Sabbath. And you create this whole story at Matthew chapter 12, Mark chapter 2, and Luke chapter 6. Or you could just read Mark chapter 12, verse 1 through 8, Mark chapter 2, verse 20, 32, 28, and Luke chapter 6, verse 1 through 5. Okay? Let's start reading. Jesus' disciples now traveled northward toward Galilee. It's springtime, and in the fields there was grain on the stalks. Being hungry, the disciples plucked some heads of grain and eat. But today is the Sabbath, and the Pharisees observe what they are doing. Recall that recently certain Jews in Jerusalem wanted to kill Jesus, accusing him of violating the Sabbath. Now the Pharisees bring an accusation based on the disciples' actions. Look! Your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath. Matthew chapter 12, verse 2. Matthew chapter 12, verse 2. As seeing this, Pharisees said to him, Look! Your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on a Sabbath. Pharisees claim that picking grain and rubbing in their hands is harvesting and threshing. Exodus chapter 34, verse 21. Exodus chapter 34, verse 21. 6 days you ought to work, but on the seventh day you will rest. Even during plowing time and harvest, you will rest. Their strict interpretation of what constitutes work makes the Sabbath burdensome, whereas it was originally meant to be a joyous, beautiful, upbuilding day. Jesus counters the wrong view with examples to show that Jehovah God never meant for his Sabbath law to be applied that way. One example Jesus gives is that of David and his men. When they were hungry, they stopped at the tabernacle and ate the loaves of presentation. These loaves, which had already been removed from before Jehovah and replaced by fresh ones, were ordinarily reserved for the priests to eat. Yet, under the circumstances, David's men were not condemned for eating them. Leviticus chapter 24, verse 5 through 9. Leviticus chapter 24, verse 5 through 9. You will take fine flour and bake into 12 ring-shaped loaves. 2/10 of an ephah should go into each loaf. You will place them in 2 seats of ladles. Stick 6 ladles set on a table of pure gold before Jehovah. You should put pure frankincense on each ladle set, and it will serve as a bread for a token offering made by fire to Jehovah. On each Sabbath day, he should regularly arrange it before Jehovah. It is a lasting covenant with the Israelites. It will become Aaron's and his sons, and they will eat in a holy place, because it is made something most holy for him from Jehovah's offerings made by fire, as a lasting regulation. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 1 to 6. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 1 to 6. Here it goes. David later came to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest. Ahimelech began to tremble when he met David, and he said to him, Why are you by yourself and no one's with you? David replied to Ahimelech the priest, The king instructed me to do something, but he said, Do not let anyone know nothing but the mission on which I am telling you about you and about instructions I have given you. I made an appointment with my young men to meet at a certain place. Now if there are 5 loaves of bread at your disposal, just give them to me or whatever is available. But the priest answered David, there was no ordinary bread on hand, but there was holy bread, provided that the young man must have kept away from woman. David answered the priest, women have certainly been kept away from us as on previous occasions when I went on the campaign. If the bodies of the young men are holy even when the mission is ordinary, how much more so today should they be holy? So the priest gave him the holy bread because there was no bread there except the showbread which had been removed from Jehovah's presence to be replaced by fresh bread on the day it was taken away. As a second example, Jesus says, have you not read in the law that on the Sabbath the priests in the temple violate the Sabbath and continue guiltless? What he means is that even on the Sabbath the priests slaughter animals for sacrifice, do other work at the temple. But I tell you, Jesus says, that something greater than a temple is here. Matthew chapter 12 verse 5 and 6. Matthew chapter 12 verse 5 and 6. Or have you not read in the law that on the Sabbath the priests in the temple violate the Sabbath and continue guiltiness? But I tell you that something greater than a temple is here. Numbers chapter 28 verse 9. Numbers chapter 28 verse 9. However, on the Sabbath day the offering should be 2 sound-year-old male lambs, 2/10 of an ephah measure of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering together with his drink offering. Jesus again draws on the scriptures to make his point. If you had understood what this means, I want mercy and not sacrifice, you will have not condemned the guiltiest ones, he concludes. For the Son of Man is the law of the Sabbath. Jesus is referring to his coming peaceful kingdom rule of 1,000 years. Matthew chapter 12 verse 7 and 8. Matthew chapter 12 verse 7 and 8. However, if you had understood what this means, I want mercy and not sacrifice, you would have condemned the guiltiest ones, for the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. Hosea chapter 6 verse 6. Hosea chapter 6 verse 6. Okay? For in loyal love I delight not in sacrifice, and in the knowledge of God rather than in whole burnt offerings. Humankind has long been suffering laborious enslavement by Satan with violence and war burning. What a contrast will be under the grace of our Lord Christ, who provided the time of rest we long for and need. And that last paragraph was true, because humankind has long been suffering laborious and enslaved by Satan with violence and war abounding. With lots of violence. So, like, for example, if I die, and if I follow Satan, I will remain dead. But if I die and I follow Jesus before I died, I will be with Christ, and then what contrast, and this is true, what a contrast will be under the grace of the flow of Christ, who will provide the time of rest we long for and need. So it's been a long time that it's been enslavement and suffering, people were suffering like demons inside with violence and water abounding. That's true. But instead, here again in the last paragraph, humankind has long been suffering laborious enslavement by Satan with violence and war abounding. What a contrast it would be under the grace of the flow of Christ, who will provide a time of longing to rest for and need. So, if we follow Jesus and we die, we will resurrect again and be with Jesus and live a happy life. No more sickness, no more deaths, no more violence, nothing. Christ will take care of us and we'll live a happy life. Okay? So, I have 3 questions for you, okay? The Pharisees make what charge against Jesus' disciples and why? How does Jesus correct the Pharisees' view? In what way is Jesus Lord of the Sabbath? Okay, I'm going to say them again. The first question is, the Pharisees make what charge against Jesus' disciples and why? The second question is, how does Jesus correct the Pharisees' view? The third question is, in what way is Jesus Lord of the Sabbath? Okay. Last story of plucking grain on the Sabbath. And you could read this whole story at Matthew 12 and Mark chapter 2 and Luke chapter 6. Or you could just read Mark chapter 12 verse 1 through 8, Mark chapter 2 verse 23 to 28, and Luke chapter 6 verse 1 through 5. And this was about disciples pluck grain on Sabbath, Jesus Lord of the Sabbath. And we will learn one thing. That so Jesus always told us in the Bible that he's gonna come. But we don't know when. He could come tomorrow, next week, this week, today, tonight. We don't know. But we do know if we hear a horn, that means he's gonna come. And he's gonna let all the badness go away. And then we'll live a happy life. So if we hear a horn, there will be no more badness. Because it's been a long time that people have been suffering with violence and war abounding and with war. Because it's Satan. So, and then the great Sabbath, which is Christ, will provide the happiness for a long and eternal time with him. And it's going to be very happy if we follow God and follow his way and follow his steps and read the Bible always. Okay? So we're going to read this was the story of plucking grain on the Sabbath, and this was about, again, the disciples pluck grain on Sabbath, and Jesus Lord the Sabbath, and we'll just tell you right now. And you could read the story if you want to read again, and you could find the answers on Matthew chapter 12, Mark chapter 2, Luke chapter 6, or you could just read Matthew chapter 12, verse 1 to 8, Mark chapter 2, verse 23 through 28, and Luke chapter 6, verse 1 to 5. Okay? You guys have a blessed day, and bye!